This is the Washington Times front page for Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Republicans have come up with their fourth speaker nominee in the last 3 weeks, choosing Louisiana Representative Mike Johnson hours after Majority Whip Tom Emmer dropped out due to a lack of support. Susan Ferricchio, Kerry Pickett, and Alex Miller report Johnson, who's the vice chairman of the House Republican Conference, beat Florida Representative Byron Donalds to win the nomination late Tuesday. Emmer only lasted about 4 hours as the nominee before it became clear nearly 24 far-right holdouts wouldn't cast their vote for him on the House floor. It's unclear how close Johnson can get to winning the 217 votes necessary to win the speakership. Staying with the House, a handful of lawsuits challenging congressional district maps could give Democrats an advantage in as many as 10 House races. Susan Ferricchio reports court cases in New York, Florida, Georgia, and Louisiana could shave off Republicans' narrow advantage if the redistricting decisions favor Democrats. That scenario would make it difficult for Republicans to retain control of the chamber if decisions are handed down and implemented in time for the 2024 general election. Israel faces a fierce backlash from its critics and friends as support for its mission to crush Hamas is splintering amid the rising civilian death toll in the Gaza Strip. Ben Wolfgang reports United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres, while loudly denouncing Hamas's terrorist attacks, declared the attack on Israel did not happen in a vacuum. It was further evidence that the tide of global public opinion is rapidly turning against the government of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as it weighs its response. Even the Biden administration, which has stood staunchly behind Israel and publicly supported its efforts to dismantle Hamas, now says the Jewish state must consider brief pauses in its military operation to allow Palestinian civilians to escape the war zone and to let humanitarian aid reach those who are trapped there. Immigrant rights advocates are accusing New York Mayor Eric Adams of scapegoating the new arrivals to his city. Stephen Dinan reports similar scenes have played out in Chicago, where the city's early promises of welcome have given way to neighborhood battles against migrant shelters. Advocacy groups now use words such as shameful, anti-immigrant, and inhumane to describe the actions of those whom they viewed as partners just a few months ago. And finally, Valerie Richardson looks at free speech issues on college campuses as universities known for muzzling disfavored views have defended free speech rights of those showing solidarity with Palestinians. Examples include praise for Resistance in Gaza by the Ohio State University chapter of Students for Justice in Palestine, and that group's chapter at the University of North Carolina sanctioning violence in the name of liberation. Find all of today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.